about your work in Lapland in the area of data, because it's really interesting, and I know in Finland you are very progressive in this whole area. Please enlighten us about your work, your role, what you're doing there.
Yes, so hello, I'm Hanna Kouri, so I'm CEO of the Lapland North Destinations, which is the destination management organization of the northmost part of the Finnish Lapland. And yes, we are destination management organization, so one of our main functions is also to be charge of the data. So we collect the data and we help the municipalities that are purchasing our services, and also the companies which are our members. We have about 100 member companies. So we provide them data to make the right decisions.
Okay, very good. Now I noticed in one of the panels earlier that you were in, you were talking about the level of detail of tourism data that DMOs are, when they talk about accessing data, that the level is not as detailed as you think it should be. Can you talk a little bit more about that, about how DMOs can actually work in a more detailed fashion with data?
Well, I think you can't really make a generalization about the level of the data in DMOs, because there are so many different DMOs and so many different size of the DMOs and different levels of the DMOs. And some of the DMOs are more focused on marketing, and then of course it's about the marketing data, and some are more focused on the destination management. And those are two very different type of things and different type of data that is needed in both. But I think there is a lot of course, data available, but I think now the main challenge is maybe that what kind of data is relevant, because at the moment the tourism is going and destinations are going through the transformation, and we are a little bit competing against the time, like how the destination and destination management can keep up with the transition. So what kind of data a destination should focus is really relevant, and what is relevant for them depends a lot about the destination, I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so how is in your part of the world data driving your work? I mean, how are you sort of applying that data? Because I mean, it has to have a purpose to it. So how are you capitalizing on that data? Is it informing your policy making, your better management of your tourism operations in your part of the world?
In northmost part of the Lapland where I operate, I think at the moment, first, when I started 4 years ago, I think the most important was that then it wasn't very clear what is the economical impact of the tourism for the area. And that's something that we started, economical and employment impacts, and of course at the same time the environmental impacts are very important to know. Mm-hmm. So data about those, but then we have also moved to the data about socio-cultural impacts of the tourism. That's also very, very important, because when we want to be sustainable destination, or when we go towards regenerative tourism, you also have to be aware of those things. And of course, I think traditionally tourism industry has been very growth driven, and tourism industry is very good at the sales data and knowing the figures about the amount of the tourists coming to the destination and about the growth figures. But now what I've been talking a lot is about the transformation. We still, of course, we need all the data available, but we have to be better at analyzing the data, and we also have to move from the purely when we talk about the dashboards and when we talk about the data, we talk a lot about the quantitative data, and it's very, very important also to go to the qualitative data and to analyze the data right.
Okay, and so picking up on qualitative data, how would you see the opportunity? I mean, do you? Within Finland, how do you collaborate with other regions? Do you collect similar data, or are you all doing things differently? How is it brought together, say, at the national level?
I think the general data, like about the visitors and about the sales figures, and it goes a lot with the accommodations. So that one is more or less standardized because there is like mainly one company that is providing that data, and it's very good because then the data is comparable. And I think it's very important that we are able to compare the data. And also, I believe in standards in that way that, as I said, I think as an industry, we are competing against the time. So it's very important that not everybody is trying to make themselves and figure it out like, okay, we are analyzing or we are collecting this type of data and we analyze it like this. But we have the standards and we are using the same systems. So about the basic data, yes, about the accommodations, like how many people are coming, how long they are staying, what are the average prices, and that data we can compare. But also about the economical impacts and about the employment impacts. Now there has been actually the same institution that is making the accommodation data, collecting that. They are making now the research about the economical employment impacts. So that we have standardized, but not all the destinations or all the areas are into that survey. So that would be very important as well, that all the destinations or all the areas would collect the same data and use it the same way. And then when we go to the environmental impacts, that's also a little bit, or sustainability. I think that's a little bit tricky because at the moment in Finland, like the main standard for the sustainability is from Visit Finland, Sustainable Tourism Finland. That's not a certificate. You first need to have some kind of certificate to get that label. And the problem with that label for the destinations is that basically if you are a destination and over 50% of the companies doing the international tourism in the area, if those have the label, then the destination gets the label. But the problem is that the destination, the sustainability of the destination, it's not some of the companies operating that area, because sustainability of the destination, it's so much more than the companies. It's about not only the companies, it's about the destination, how the municipality, for example, or the city is working, how the plans are done, what is the strategy. So we don't really have, in my opinion, the sustainability standard for the destinations yet, and we have to be working on that one.
Okay. If we then step back into the sort of the bigger picture, the European picture, across the European Union, how do you reach out to that level? I mean, would it be helpful if you had comparability of data across the European Union with other DMOs in other parts of Europe? Would that be beneficial to you?
Of course, and at the moment, for example, we are one of the pilot companies in this 3D hub project, and in that one we can also share the information. I think like there is quite a few forums and a different kind of project. We are also like part of the ACTA project. It used to be VAT, and that's about the Nordic Europe. It's the EU project as well, and over there we also share data and collect data. So there are quite a few different kind of projects, and it is good not to only have the one project or only having the one institution doing it, because at the moment, like I think like we need to do it from the different perspective in a different context. And we are doing quite a lot, but of course, like sharing is caring. And as I said, like I think like for example, the description I saw about you was about the sustainable and competitive destinations, and I feel very strongly that I don't want to compete with anybody. Only thing I want to compete is maybe like how we can be more and more sustainable, all of us, and how can we develop together our skills and how we can all become more sustainable.
Okay, very good. All right, well, I mean, at NECSTouR we work extensively with DMOs, with regions in this space. So as well as doing our project work, you touched on D3 Hub, we have, we're a partner in Deploytur around the European data space, and a new project coming up around Facilitate, which will get going next month actually. But our work at the Tourism of Tomorrow Lab, which was set up by Andalusia here, has been going nearly 4 years, well, it's in its 4th year now. And we are working with around about a dozen regions through a work program that on a fortnightly basis brings them together around a particular agenda. It could be around things to do with AI, it can be around setting up an API for them. So there's a whole range of sort of different activities that are pre-agreed in advance, co-created with those regions. And it's really about upskilling and sharing knowledge and expertise in that forum, and we find that the collaboration that engenders is incredibly helpful to those participating regions. So we find that sort of spirit of cooperation is invaluable, that we can actually provide that, we can facilitate that with our dedicated team of staff that work on this initiative in a very dedicated fashion. And we also do that across climate action, and we do it across regenerative tourism governance as well. So the sort of European collaboration that NECSTouR is able to bring together is something that we feel is hugely beneficial. The regions like it because they learn different approaches, they get different views on how to deal with particular issues that perhaps are causing them, challenging them. So they reach out to the network, and then through that they're able to incorporate into their daily activities the perhaps different sort of models or solutions that have worked in other settings. So I wonder, from the European perspective, you mentioned the project that you're doing. Is that something that you would be interested in sort of developing going forward, or do you have sufficient window of collaboration with other European regions? How are you seeing that sort of in the future?
Yeah, I think we're always interested to hear and to see what we can learn from the others, or what we can maybe to share with the others. And also, I think it's very important what I saw about your collaboration, that you are also working with the destinations, and also there are the, different kind of institutions, and also the universities, because I think one of the challenges that we have in the tourism industry, that we are a little bit in the silos still, and especially like academical side, like universities and institutions, they are not maybe working very well always with the companies and with the destinations. And now because of this transformation in the sustainability transformation or regenerative transformation in the industry that we all have to be part of, we really have to start working better together.
Yep.
And there is a lot of like research, there is lots of things, good things, that innovations that the companies are doing, or the destinations are doing, or what the municipalities or cities are doing, but we really have to find a way of like working better together.
I could not agree more with you. That's a clear opportunity for an organization like NECSTouR. We have academic members, we have over 20 universities. How can we unlock that talent and capability that we know exists within those tourism-focused universities, research departments, and bring that into the sort of more mainstream activities that we do, working with our destinations, with our regions. So there's a whole sort of crossover there that we're trying to bring to bear, because we feel that, as you say, working in silos, it doesn't, you don't get the best out of all of the participants in the network. So fusing that, bringing that together, finding a mechanism to enable them to collaborate. For universities, we're understanding that funding obviously is very, very important for them, so that they look to the European level on project opportunities around Horizon Europe, around things like Interreg, and so on and so forth. So they're very keen to collaborate with regions in that regard, perhaps to be using them as test beds for some of their research ideas, where they can, sort of test out the sort of research work that they've done. So going forward, I think that's another big area of opportunity for us to sort of bring that collaboration to bear, to enable them to sort of benefit from that locked up expertise that sits within the research departments. And I mean, how do you see that collaboration going forward? Is that something that you're actively trying to sort of unlock? Have you talked about being in silos? How do you make it happen?
Well, I myself, I like to do the cooperation. As I said, and I'm doing my own thesis in Helsinki School of Economics, Aalto University, and I do it from the economical and business administrative side, and lots of research about the tourism is from the tourism geography side. Mm-hmm. So I'm reaching out to all the different universities and everybody who I hear that is doing the research about the regenerative tourism, and actually we have had very good discussions with the different universities and also different institutions. It doesn't have to be the university because we have also many institutions in our area, and our DMO does lots of cooperation with all the different institutions, but we can always do better and we can always do more.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. So we're on the cusp of a new European tourism strategy, which you're probably aware of. There was a consultation over the summer for ideas, input to that development of the new strategy. The Commissioner is very keen to bring all the voices together and hear what people have got to say. Did you respond to that consultation, just out of interest?
Yes. I'm in the tourism forum of the Finnish ministry. We have a meeting tomorrow, and I think tomorrow we are just talking about the European tourism strategy.
Very good.
And that's part of also what I'm very interested about, does Europe have a grand strategy for tourism? Do the countries have it? And I think that's something we have to develop more. Okay,
well, I think they're working towards it, and there will be a number of flagships, and surely data and knowledge will be one of those flagships. I feel fairly sure that that's the direction that they will move towards, and then once those flagships are identified, there will be funding in the next multi-annual financial framework from 2028 onwards. But I'm conscious of time, that we need to sort of wrap up. It's your first visit to TIS. How have you found it?
I think it's great. I think we need more data, we need more innovations to the tourism industry, and it's a great event. Okay, so you've found it a useful experience, and you've developed some good contacts, and you've had the opportunity to profile your region on one of the panels. So you're coming back? Hope so. Good. It's my second time here, so I came last year, and I think it's a fantastic event, and Andalusia really do a great job in sort of positioning themselves at the forefront of this innovation agenda through something like the TIS event. So I think it's their 6th year that they're doing it now, and you can see it's a very, very successful event. So we as NECSTouR are very delighted to support it, and we'll definitely be back next year.